What is going on, guys? I am Reuben here from Outpost LLC. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn the bell on to be notified of when our videos are released. And guys, today we are talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. Yep, we are doing a review. Before we get into this video, guys, this is a non-spoiler review, so watch this if you're interested in seeing Godzilla vs. Kong, and hopefully I can convince you to either go watch it or don't go watch it. Make sure to check us out online at gamersoutpostllc.com and over on Facebook at gamersoutpostllc for your latest news and notes about the gaming and entertainment world. So guys, this was a really tough review for me to do. I am a huge fan of Godzilla. It's one of the movies I remember watching as a kid. My grandparents were really big into the Godzilla films. My uncle was into the Godzilla films. I mean, I've probably seen more Godzilla films than I probably have any other films, and I just don't remember it. But this was a really hard review for me because I didn't like the movie at first. I had to watch the movie 3 times to really understand and maybe appreciate it better. But to go back, when Godzilla came out in 2014, I loved the movie, even though everybody hated it, and there was only 20 minutes of Godzilla in the movies. I was like 14 years old, and I was in awe of seeing this huge monster on screen. And when 2019's Godzilla 2 came out, I seen that in IMAX, and I was just blown away. I loved every minute of it, the score, the CGI. I mean, they had the original theme in it, and I lost my mind. I have seen Kong Skull Island, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I knew that eventually we were going to get a crossover movie, and so I had to watch it to make sure I knew what was going on, so I wasn't surprised at all. I seen Kong Skull Island twice when it first came out, and then over the week that Godzilla vs. Kong came out, I watched all the movies just to make sure that something should happen, I catch on to it. So guys, let's get into the movie. We're going to start with the good, and then we're going the bad. So the good part happens to be that there was not a whole lot of character development. And honestly, I really like that. If you guys want to go watch my video I made on my personal channel, I will link that down below. It talks about what I looked forward to in Godzilla vs. Kong, and this was one of them. I did not want too much character development in this movie because this is Godzilla vs. Kong. It was under 2 hours, and really, I wanted majority of that to be Godzilla vs. Kong. With this being answered, though, I was a little upset that the big father-daughter duo of Kyle Chandler and Millie Bobby Brown from Godzilla 2, they weren't really cameos, but they weren't the stars of the movie, and I was kind of blown away by that. If I had to choose the big star of the movies, it would be Rebecca Hall and Alexander Skarsgård, because you really see a whole lot of character development in those characters. Not saying there's a whole lot of character development, but those are your big stars. Those are the protagonists. Those are the people that the movie wanted to get over. I do have to say, my man Brian Tyree Henry from Atlanta, the show, was absolutely great in this movie. It was almost, to me, if you guys have seen Kong Skull Island, what John C. Reilly was to that movie is what Brian is to this movie. That dude's an amazing actor, and I loved seeing him in it. Dude was funny, dude was witty, and I really hope that they continue on with this character. Let's talk about the CGI of this movie, because this is a really good part of the movie. The CGI was absolutely amazing, hands down the best of the MonsterVerse series. I really enjoyed every minute of it, from the lights to the roars to what Godzilla looks like. Obviously, Kong gets way bigger than what he was from Kong Skull Island. But, I mean, the CGI is amazing. Even the other baddie, who I'm not going to say, but I feel like if you're watching this, you know who it is. Even the other baddie of this movie was just, I mean, he just looked really good. And I was actually really skeptical on him at first. But we'll get into that later. The score of this movie was actually really great. I mean, hands down, the best score. I know a lot of people don't go into movies liking or really caring what the score of the movie is, but I do. I really love the score of The Social Network, Queen of the Damned. I mean, scores to me are really good. They add the extra oomph in a movie, and especially during a fight scene. So yeah, the score is top notch in this movie as well. And we're gonna get into the last good thing. I mean, there's a lot of good things in this movie. There's a lot of bad things in this movie. But one of the key good things, which I'm sure everybody wants to know, is the fight scenes. The fight scenes are absolutely amazing. Like, in my video, again, I'll link down below, I really wanted at least 45 minutes of the movie to be a fight scene. And boy, I mean, it really delivered. I mean, it delivered. Godzilla vs. Kong, the fight scene, in it of itself, they're fight scenes. And they're really good fight scenes. Especially the last one with the baddie, which, again, I feel like if you're watching this, you know there's more than one monster. It was just absolutely phenomenal. I loved the fight scenes. But with the good, let's talk about the bad. Of course, the bad is just my opinion of the movie. Again, like, I'm not a diehard Godzilla fan, but I know enough about Godzilla to think I know more than the average bear of Godzilla. So one of the things I didn't like, which it kind of made sense, was the time. I thought it was just under 2 hours, I think an hour and 53 minutes. I thought that was really short, and I'll get into why in another bad reason. But I thought it was way too short because as much as I didn't want so much character development, I feel like they could have added a little more character development. Like I said, the Kyle Chandler and Millie Bobby Brown, they're not cameos, but they don't seem like the star people like they should. Like, when you have two big movie franchises or movies combined, you want both star people in it, I guess. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But it just was too short for my tasting. I would rather it be 2.5 hours to maybe push along some more dialogue about the future, or just maybe another fight scene or two. But about that, speaking of the next thing that I thought was really, really, like, not good, was there was a lot of plot holes. Like, yes, it's an hour and 53 minutes, and it is a fast hour and 53 minutes. Like, I'm talking, it is 0 to 100 real quick. Which is somewhat good because, I mean, this movie, it feels like this movie knew what it was supposed to do. But there was a lot of moments where I was like, wait, hold up a second. What? Like, more than 3 times I had to ask myself in this movie, like, wait, hold up a second. Wait, what? And, I didn't care for that because it's like, okay, that actually might be a pretty big deal. Again, guys, this is just my opinion. And if you didn't see it that way, then you didn't see it that way. That's all okay. With that being said, let's get right into my verdict. Again, this verdict was really, really hard because I had to watch this 3 times, and I'm going to be honest with you. The first time, I didn't care for it. I actually really didn't like it because I'm more of a Godzilla guy, and I'm going to call this what it is. This feels almost like a Kong 2, a sequel to Kong Skull Island. So when I watched it the second time, I kind of had more of an understanding, like, okay, well, you can't really, like, this can't be about Godzilla because Godzilla had 2 movies and Kong had 1. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, it can't always be who I want. And then the third time I watched it, I was like, okay, this is actually a really decent movie. It delivered on what it promised. They weren't, they didn't come out here saying this was going to be a Martin Scorsese, film of the year. It came out and delivered what, the expectations I think anybody would have. Like, if you're a fan of these movies, like a true fan, and you really like 2014 Godzilla, and you really like Kong Skull Island, and you really like Godzilla 2, you're gonna like this movie. And after remembering what my expectations were for those movies and what my expectations should be for this movie, I was like, all right, this was a pretty decent movie. So my verdict on this is going to have to be a 7 out of 10. I didn't care for the runtime. I didn't care for the plot holes, but let me tell you, The fight scenes were good. The CGI was amazing. The score rocked. And, I mean, it's Godzilla versus Kong. I feel like if you don't know anything about Godzilla versus Kong and you're like, hey, what is this movie? And you watch like the trailer, it almost, the expectations you have of like watching the trailer is like, okay, that's what this movie was. It didn't over exceed, but it definitely did not like under succeed, if that makes sense in my opinion. So let's talk about what I think the future of this movie franchise should be. Currently, right now, there is no future. This movie was going to be the make or break of the Monsterverse, and obviously with positive reviews, I would not be surprised if we get any future sequel to this movie or anything. Again, this is non-spoiler. I'm not going to ruin anything. I think this is what should happen. I believe there should be kind of like a Destroy All Monsters type of movie, or even a prequel to kind of understand more about the history between Godzilla and Kong. I also do believe that maybe Kong should get his own movie and Godzilla should get maybe one more movie. But I definitely think that these two need to pair up again and maybe go duke it out one more time. Maybe introduce bigger monsters like Space Godzilla or the monsters from the past, or really anything would be good. But guys, I'm going to tell you now, I feel like you guys should go watch it. It's only 2 hours, and it's really short. You got to think how many things you spend 2 hours doing. I mean, if you just watch this movie and you like it or you don't like it. I feel like this is a great movie for the family. Like, if you have small kids that are huge into the superhero movie type stuff, like, bring your kid. And your kid would be like, oh man, this, like, oh my God. You know, two big monsters. I feel like this movie is an all family movie. But guys, let me know down below what you guys think about the movie. Don't spoil anything, but let me know what you think the future of the movie, of this franchise is, and let me know what you guys would rate it. With that being said, guys, that is going to do it for us today. Make sure to check us out at gamersoutpostloc.com and on Facebook at gamersoutpostloc for your latest news and notes on the gaming universe. Guys, I am Reuben, and until next time, play on and play hard.